this Aphrodite. You got to have some way to try and bait that out at that Undying Love. You think this Gilgamesh might be the god to do so.
Gilgamesh in the early game is going to have a pretty good odd, right? I mean, you drop kick someone to the wall. It's one of the longer single target stuns you can have out of the assassin role. But late game, man, Gilgamesh going to struggle up against the likes of Aphrodite, maybe more so. Just worried about controlling space in the team fight with his ultimate.
It's game number 1 here of our in-studio set of the day and our match of the week from the Titans and the Leviathans. Who's going to pick it out in game 1? Let's take it over to Dave and Gore.
We go again. The Titans and the Leviathans fighting it out for the first time this phase. And Gore, the last time this phase. Still draft a Geb. You can still draft a Cthulhu and make life miserable for the Leviathans.
The downside is like Paul does really well. Actually, Cyclone Spin gets pulled.
He gets pulled in. Rooted in place. That man dashes forward, got the stun, got first blood. Strong front line might not matter if the back line is melting, and Paul is melting in the mid lane as well. Layers rotates through to mid, applies the DOT to Panatom, and grabs the kill.
And then zones out, allows Paul to come right back into the lane. He's going to be able to survive, barely. Ooh, he is alive.
Did not want Cyclone Spin at all. There's a pull on a Cyclone Spin at the end here. But Cyclone won't be under any further pressure. Layers is rotated here to left, and Cyclone Spin pressing the go button, chasing down Zapman. Wrong you. Tries to toss an auto or two in there. Oh, Panatom is deleted, and Cyclone Spin will live on. Zapman has no ultimate, has no chance to live unless Layers gets pulled away by Wrong You, who saves his hunter's life.
Yeah, that is such a good pull from Wrong You. They do have sustain.
People who trained him to get himself there. Hey, speaking of gank, it's happening to Zapman here. He's going to get jumped on by Layers, galloping away, and the horse won't be quick enough. Layers jumps in, gets the kill, and right as we speak about it, Zapman suffers an unfortunate fate. And Gore, that's not even all that.
If you're the jungler for the Leviathans. For Layers, I mean, that is, like you said, about as tried and true as it gets.
Panatom, Wrong You, and Shinto collapsed on by the Tartarus Titans. Undying Love is perfect from Paul, and that'll keep Layers on the map, and Paul's the one who ends up getting the last bit of damage. The Titans grouping up on left, putting all this pressure on this side of the map, and really calling the Leviathans on their one tier of the book in the back pocket, how much damage Shinto will take. Pyromancer started by the Titans. It's a pull from Wrong You onto Layers, but Paul reads it well again. Undying Love is down. That's a good Winds of Shamash from Panatom, who will jump on in. Paul uses the Aegis. Swooping is Layers, and some damage from Zapman has found its way into the back. Is Benji, and Cyclone Spin has been able to chase down one, but oh, the Cthulhu Gore is being whittled away.
It's just making space, though. Look at this. Benji's not worried about his health bar. They're catching people out.
Oh, now it's time for the Leviathans to turn it around because Zapman has died. Unfortunately, Shinto has not been able to find the effectiveness after his counterpart has fallen. That's a 2-for-none trade. The Titans out ahead, just a bit disjointed from the Leviathans.
And a little disjointed there, even to continue with the damage chase up follow through. Doesn't seem soon enough. That's a great Phoenix siege, tier 2 tower siege.
Yep.
Depending on where the Leviathans put up a defense.
That man's been caught out here by Cyclone Spin. He's gonna have to use the ultimate, and he will gallop away. But is the re-engage there from Cyclone? Oh, nearly gets the kill. Zapman has got nearly no HP, but Cyclone Spin is gonna get out alive. Shinto suffers a similar fate in the mid lane, but he actually dies. Paul will snag one under the Leviathan's mid laner.
And Benji's ult being down theoretically should be a good thing overall for the Leviathans, but now you're fighting a 4v5 and Cthulhu's still Cthulhu, and Benji's just going to lead the way.
Man, the Tartarus...
Oh, what a cataclysm!
They have spent a lot of time farming up, and now the gas pedal is pressed. Wrong You with a big ultimate, but I'm not sure it changes all that much here, Goremizer. Phoenix gets taken down by the Titans. There's a slight outward rotation to maybe go back to the mid lane, but the Titans, they realize that they can end this game. They can put the Leviathans on the back foot. Hardcore will use his ultimate to slow things down here for just a moment. Panatom does the same, but Cyclone Spin's got an opening, and he's into the back line. Some good CC from Panatom, connects onto the set, and the Titans have not spent a lot of time working down the health bar of the Leviathan's Titan.
And now they're going to have to fall back. Cyclone's low. Layers, while being sustained, is not in a comfortable position. Might still be an over.
The Gold Fury actually still could be, just existing on this side of the map. Dashes away is Zapman, does not have beats, does have ultimate, Aurora rolling through. Cyclone Spin, that is absurd how much damage you get done. He won't make a mistake of it this time, and Zapman's passive is activated.
We'll have to see if it makes a difference here. Fire minions in mid is going to be causing a little bit of trouble. Pyromancer goes the way of the Leviathans, though. So still fighting back just enough in terms of gold, and they're going to need it because they lost all 6 of their towers in this Fire Giant. Another Phoenix being taken down or potentially taken down by the Titans. They don't have a lot of time to work with for the FG buff, but they do have a lot to work with in the sense that Zapman's not here and Panatom's still over there on right. They've got plenty of wiggle room.
Yeah, Zapman is going to make something happen. He might just be alone if the rest of his team dies under the left side. Phoenix Hardcore starts things off with his ultimate here. Dropkick from Panatom, it's good. It's on to Layers, who will have to leap away. Winds of Shamash in for the follow-up as well. This is maybe the best play we've seen from the Leviathans. They have separated out the Titans, but Cyclone Spin from range will put down one. Aurora does end up falling on the back end, and it's Wrongu who snags it, but Cyclone Spin's still alive. Cyclone Spin's a threat. Cyclone Spin's got two, a third around the corner. And Cyclone Spin ends this game with a triple.
And depending on how things go, I mean, Zapman just now respawns, Hardcore is there, you might be able to find more.
All right, Zapman, time to activate that passive. Cyclone Spin down. It's Hardcore who gets it. And the Tartarus Titans score. They are leaving the base for the time being, but Hardcore stuck in place, jumps onto Benji, and Zapman at full HP, still a big threat. The Titans have not left the base. In fact, they are still on the Titan. Paul has got a lot of healing in onto Layers, and the Tartarus Titans, they play on thin margins. They get the win nonetheless.
That one, it honestly feels a little cut and dry. You get really good ganks early on from Layers, that transition.
An early lead, but if the Tartarus Titans are able to go to a late game phase with this composition, man, the team fight prowess is just so high. Cthulhu, Aphrodite, Kuzumbo, just such a great way to extend these fights.
Tartarus Titans looking to close it out here in 2. Can they do it? Let's take it right onto the battleground and see what pans out.
See if Layers' prediction was correct. A 2-0 set. It's got to be for the Titans at this point if it's going to be a 2-0. The Tartarus Titans might make that choice for him if he continues to walk forward. Hardcore sends some damage and a root Benji's way. Panatom in behind, drop kick awaiting. Benji's gonna get blinked on here. As the drop kick against the wall, the body blocks send Benji running right back the other way. Layers is lurking over by the blue buff. Can Benji buy enough time? Panatom goes up and over, and the knockup from Layers is huge. Big play out of the jungle for the Titans.
They still have some damage coming through, and Yarkor's chasing him down.
Yarkor with the last bit of damage here will find first blood. Leviathan strike first. Didn't make it easy. It was a great play from Layers. But the Leviathan may be the longest fire giant dance we've ever seen. We've seen some like 10-minute ones. Gore could be going a little bit longer than that, unless the Yarkor gets caught out here. Gets a double step.
Oh my God!
The damage is huge! We had nothing going on for 25 minutes, and suddenly all at once it happens. Yarkor deletes Paul. Cyclone Spin still alive in this fight. He'll have to do the majority of the remaining damage. He's got a big play. Back against the wall, doesn't matter. 3-for-1 for the Leviathans.
I gotta see that at like 0.25 speed. Where did Layers' health go? I mean, nothing for so long, and then you blink and you miss the amount of damage that gets dealt into him. Plus, they've already burned Benji's ult. I mean, except for a roar and maybe some really big spin-to-win plays, which now that's going to be down. This seems like it should be a fire giant for the Leviathans.
The Titans have at least delayed the FG. The Leviathans are missing Panatom. Fire giant picked back up, though, by the Leviathans. Tartarus Titans closing this gap. You're right, Gore. It is slow. A roar. Very low on HP, though. Shinto dealing a lot of damage to the Kuzumbo.
Oh, you can't die here.
Just a few moments away from dashing away. He does die. Shinto grabs that one. Fire Giant low. The respawns are back from the Tartarus Titans. Beeve just traded out. The other frontliners are now going to maybe get some pressure put onto him. Aurora's dead for 45 seconds. Fire Giant around the waist of the Leviathan.
There's still 4 towers standing. You're not even looking at the Titan room right now. You are trying to figure out pretty much all the small stops in between.
Well, Panatom 1v1 with Cyclone Spin, and this one is not close at all. Goodbye, Cyclone Spin, for the second time this game. You'll be able to head back, maybe finish up that final item. Cyclone Spin does a lot of damage here at this point. Jotun's fully stacked Transcendence, Crusher, Heartseeker.
They have a good comp for a defense. They've got a lot of healing. Layers could get a good taunt and really disrupt the backline. Cyclone Spin's the one you got to keep your eyes on. Alongside Layers, the damage numbers that they are outputting are going to need to be massive, because right now Layers is sitting at the very bottom. Cyclone Spin's not too much further up. Versus the 21K, almost 22K, now 22K, that has been put out by Shinto. Both of them together haven't even been able to match that number.
Yeah, it feels a little different. Leviathan's mid laner has just poured out damage. This Phoenix has not taken a lot of damage at all. The wave clear has been good from the Tartarus Titans. The body blocking not allowing Zapman to step forward, and this is why, because Aurora can find the engage for free on the back. Aurora's
there's Cyclone.
Back against the wall. Cyclone Spin engages onto Panatom. And the Leviathans now reeling backwards after a big opening kill from the Tartarus Titans ADC. Whirlwind of Rage and Steel sends a roar right on back though, and the kill will be traded.
That's a really good stun, but you got rid of the jungler. As long as Cyclone and Layers can stay alive, they had a really good through line to Zapman and Shinto. They aren't going to be able to get there and retaliate.
The Leviathans onto the FG. Enhanced Fire Giant has been started up here. 5 versus 4 immediately around the Fire Giant pit. Roars in, promptly out. And plenty of damage out of Zapman. Panatom and Shinto is going to get this Fire Giant nice and low. Aurora closing the gap. Look at
Whoa!
Oh, they've done it! The Tartarus Titans have taken it away. This game is flipped on its head. The Leviathans thought they were in the lead.
Benji's up.
But you gotta win the fight afterwards. Hardcore stunned in place. Benji disengaging, and the Titans will get the fire.
That is such a huge swing for them if they can make it out. Benji should live here, and the rest of the team seems to be fine, but Yarkor's going in. That might be too deep.
He is Blink 4 double stun. One on Benji, one onto Aurora. And Aurora will dash away, but now Layers left alone with the rest of the Leviathans.
No.
Benji survives, but what's the cost? It's your jungler.
And Cyclone Spin might just be after.
Oh, Cyclone's been able to get out as well, though. Good engage from Zapman is going to force the defensive positioning. Watch out, though. The Titan is down to half HP all in the meantime.
Wide opening. I mean, you walk in. Aurora does as much as he possibly can for disruption, but it's Cyclone Spin. Yeah, a little bit of damage there from the set. Either way, there's so much going on in the fray. I like that the Titans commit to that. Plus, they've done a good job defending over.
Closer to even for the Tartarus Titans. 30 seconds left on the Enhanced Fire Giant. Did the Leviathans put up a defense around the tier 2? There's a lot of game left.
Oh, they can.
Aurora taken low, not taken down just yet. Full-on disengage from the Tartarus Titans, but Benji, staunch on the front line, is going to keep Panatom, going to keep Zapman, Shinto, all of them at bay because everyone on the Titans is down to half HP. Have the Leviathans cracked the code? Have you figured out how to fight around these Cthulhu compositions? It sure seems so. And his name is Shinto, 503. Picking up a kill here in what could be the last fight of the game.
Yeah, in what has been the polar opposite from what we've gotten to see out of the jungle for the Titans here. Shinto has done 31,000 damage and is looking to be just unstoppable with what he has been able to provide. So much that is going in favor of this mid laner, and I don't know that they have a good answer for it.
Gore, it looks like we're headed on to another Game 3 here this weekend unless Aurora can make some magic happen. Zapman connects with his ultimate. Cyclone Spin jumped on by Panatom off to the right. And goodbye Kuzumbo once more after the ultimate times that Watery Grave does. And so does Aurora's Light. Panatom not just that kill. Now Yarkor into the base of the Tartarus Titans. And the Leviathans will turn their eyes towards the big one. They will turn their eyes towards a game number 3. Cyclone Spin will get some help with the Mantle proc. Gets a kill onto Zapman, which would be impactful if the rest of his team weren't dead. And the Titan falls and the Leviathans send us to 3.
Yeah, you have 2 assassins and neither of them got to do the assassin thing. Unfortunately, it took way too long for the Titans to come online. Maybe the lack of fighting early on, just no pressure for Layers to apply anywhere.
Dangerous composition that the Titans have been able to put together to try and hold through here. Leviathans, they had an answer for this Cthulhu, for this Aphrodite last time. Is this what they've got for the answer in game number 3? Let's take it right down, close out our sets, and close out our day here with Dulcin and Gore.
We're also going to close out the weekend. One final game before we head into the final weekend of the Gore, I guess what? Standard. That'll help him there. Back to the Heimdall here for Zapman, Gore. And I think in the limited amount of data that we had on how it would look in game 2, it did look good. Yarkor ganked by Layers, leaps beneath the tower, and this one's easy. A lot of damage makes its way onto Yarkor. Hadn't been able to go back to base.
For the Gold Fury, but look, Wrong You and Zap didn't back off.
Gold Fury half HP. Panatom lurking. I don't even call it lurking. He's literally standing in front of the Tartarus Titans. Wrong You is, however, lurking. Still has ultimate for Serket around the back. Goes Wrong You. Gold Fury low. Some damage weaved in by Shinto. Good taunt from Wrong You. And then the follow-up from Argor is big, and the Nike spreads out. The Sentinel of Zeus to 3. The Tartarus Titans scattering, and the Leviathans find the opening kill.
Being able to pick off Aurora is a huge deal for them. Benji's ult is down as well. That's a huge deal for the Titans to get to a win state, win condition from here. And it seems like they have the exact same thing in mind.
If you don't want to just have this game taken away from you, if you're the Leviathans, you might have to step up.
Oh,
you
they
might
gotta
have
be
to get
careful.
something done. You might have to steal it away, but you're not able to do so. Panatom tried, but now Panatom jumping on Cyclone Spin with Hardcore. So the Uller out of the fight. Paul has gotten a kill elsewhere on the map. Nice stun from Cyclone Spin. Might allow him to escape, but the rest of the fight's going disastrously for the Leviathans. The Titans have lost to no one, and they've gotten 2.
And now you leave Hardcore all alone between 4, like Aurora's the lowest person. At 1 good silence in a second is all it'll take.
Hardcore is going to be pinned in with 4. And Benji will be the one to grab the 4th kill of the game. 3 of them happening in this fight for the Tartarus Titans. And that's the risk that you play.
Sometimes it is like I am like a 6-year-old being handled more than I am. How old am I? 28. Soon. I have like a month.
That's right. You got a little bit of time before we get there. The Leviathans running out of time in game number 3. In goes Aurora. Down goes the Phoenix. Not yet, though.
Ooh, what a big ult.
Being looked at. Benji in the back. Look at it. All the space that he's controlling. This Cthulhu is literally massive in the back. Rongyu gets whittled down by Paul, who's got the opening kill here. Zapman ults back to base. The Tartarus Titans looking
they might just go
at
for
the
it.
Leviathans. Titan, and the damage is huge. This game has been asleep for 15 minutes, and it's really lit up in the last 8, and the Tartarus Titans walk in and take it.
And that is going to be one of the lowest kill counts in a game we've seen in the last 2 years.